Hi, I'm Marcus. Welcome back to the historic series topic of Art of War. Famous battle in ancient China. Today we shall proceed at the second part to see how the Qing state used the strategy to break the standoff on the front line. In the part 1, we discussed the background of warring states period and its profound social influence to the two belligerents, Qing state and Zhao state. The Shangyang's political reform and the King of Zhao Lingwang's military reform. And we know, as the top states amongst the seven, both the Qing and Zhao states failed to escape the Thucydides trap and fell in the struggle around the Oriental Golan Heights, Shangdang. The combat between Qing and Zhao was fierce. Ultimately, Zhao was driven to the second defense line on the east bank of the Danshui River. Being separated by the Danshui River, Qing and Zhao state had stood facing each other for several months. No one did know how it would end. The deteriorative state affair had troubled the King of Zhao for several days. The latest battle reports had verified Lianpo's constant withdrawal from Gaopingguan mountain pass to Danshui River. What's worse, the long-term garrison for a huge army defending Shangdang had enormously depleted Zhao's grain storage. Unfortunately, the Qi state, a friendly state on the east of Zhao, had declined Zhao's request for borrowing grain. To continue to fight on or plead for truce, the King of Zhao was in a dilemma. The historical material indicated that the King of Zhao Xiao Chengwang was about 30 by then, and took his crown for merely 7 years. Yet, as a king, he must make a decision. Unfortunately, he made a mistake. One of his senior advisors urged him to dispatch diplomats to two friendly states, Chu and Wei states, to forge alliance against Qing. At least such a gesture will put pressure on Qing and make truce possible. However, with the concern of the depleted supply and deteriorating battle situation, the King of Zhao even could not wait. He sent diplomats to Qing in hope of an instant truce. But will Qing accept a truce on such an occasion? In the court of the state of Qing, the diplomats of Zhao received a high standard of hospitality. Although there was no development for the truce at all, the King of Qing highly welcomed the diplomats of Zhao. The atmosphere was warm and friendly. Did that mean a temporary peace will come to the two states? In fact, there was a conspiracy lurked behind the over-elaborate welcome reception. By the year of 260 BC, the King of Qing Zhao Xiangwang was already 65. Compared with the King of Zhao, he was sophisticated, wise, patient, and ruthless. As the attacker against Zhao, he would never accept the truce under these circumstances. He saw through the King of Zhao the moment he sent a diplomat, his anxiety and his unreconciliation. Therefore, he decided to countermine King of Zhao's plan. He warmly welcomed Zhao's diplomats, left the impression to all that Qin and Zhao may reach an agreement of peace very soon. Yet, there was no substantial progress for the truce. Now, state of Zhao will get no support from other states for a long time. There is no truce between Qin and Zhao. But how to break the ice on the front line? Before long, an astonishing grapevine swiftly spread to the court of state of Zhao, whispering that Qin's army despised Zhao's general Lianpo, who undared to confront Qin's force and only feared a young man named Zhaokuo. The people of Zhao certainly knew its rumor and mocked Qin for their clumsy plot and foolishness. While the latest announcement soon put them to silence, the King of Zhao decided to replace Lianpo with Zhaokuo. How could this happen? And who was this Zhaokuo? As we mentioned in Part 1, in 269 BC, Zhao's state took a rare victory against the Qin in the Battle of Liu, under the leadership of Zhao Shi, who was Zhaokuo's father. By the way, before this battle, the emperor proposed to take a defense position while Zhao Shi insisted on taking a bold attack. Zhaokuo was a smart young man who read many books on the art of war with few military experience, considering himself an invincible military strategist on the battlefield. Yet his father knew him well, asserted that the warfare is the most complicated matter in the world. Zhaokuo was too young and too proud to confront it in earnest. Thus, he will be defeated if he lead an army. When Qin's spies started to engage in espionage in Lianpo, capital Zhao, they did not expect much for its outcome. However, the rumor did demonstrate the wisdom and gave rise to a huge impact, as Zhao Shi was the first general of Zhao who defeated Qin after Shangyang's reform. He was a man of prestige among the people. Although he was gone, people may set hope on his son, Zhaokuo. In addition, they must have known Zhao Shi's judgment on his son. Thus, Zhaokuo might be a super ruler for the game. Now, it depends on Zhao's response. If the strategy does not work, patience and intelligence may largely impact the direction of war. After all, a standoff was not to its advantage for the attacker. Yet, the King of Zhao had his own opinion. The grain reserve was draining and may be unable to support the long-term military operation in Changping, and Zhao would get no further support from other states in short term. Meanwhile, his confidence had wavered due to Lianpo's constant withdrawal from the first defense line. He began to distrust the mighty general. There must be someone who could replace Lianpo and turn the battle situation. Did that remind him of Zhao Shi? Almost 10 years ago, it was his father promoted Zhao Shi as the general and achieved a glorious victory. Although Zhao Shi was gone, his gifted son might be an appropriate candidate. Last, not the least, the terrifying Bai Qi did not take command this time. Instead, Qin dispatched the young general Wang He. Perhaps Zhaokuo cannot resist Bai Qi, but he would certainly outmatch Wang He. When these thoughts running through his mind, the conspiracy of Qin was but a clumsy trap for him to counterplot. It was about the end of August. The King of Zhao officially named Zhaokuo as the general of the state of Zhao to replace Lianpo. Though the objection from Zhaokuo's mother and many other men of note had been fully ignored. Ironically, for years, Qin and Zhao state fought against each other and hardly had a cooperation. Yet Zhaokuo had succeeded where both states failed to do, to have the two states work together by choosing him as the general of Zhao. Before long, being taught to take the initiative to attack Qin, Zhaokuo set out from Handan to Changping, where his destiny ended. Eventually, with 250,000 reinforcements walked by his side, Zhaokuo swore to replicate the glory their fathers once achieved. Before we return to the battlefield, one more thing we still need to know was the response of the Qin state. As long as they knew their strategy worked, they substituted Wang He with Bai Qi instantly, in silence. When Bai Qi arrived at the camp, a strict order was given. Do not change Wang He's commander-in-chief flag. Anyone who reveals Bai Qi's trail will be executed immediately. When you examine this part of history, you may find the ruler of the state of Zhao had been completely outmaneuvered by the serious strategy of Qin. By contrast, the people of Qin state, from its king to generals, the spy to common soldiers, all united to serve the strategies, step by step, tightly interlocked. As a result, Zhaokuo and the King of Zhao, driven by their anxiety and ambitions, ignored the potential threat and the value of wise suggestions that they should have been aware of. We all know the key factors significantly influence the warfare, sometimes maybe beyond the battlefield. Therefore, when you look back at what happened previously, the outcome might be certain. The moment Zhaokuo approached the camp on Danshui River defense line, he released the command of Lianpo immediately. Besides, he was the sword and will of King of Zhao. He must carry the order to attack. Thus, he replaced those military officers with his trusted followers and amended the military criminal code formulated by Lianpo to ensure strict enforcement of orders and bans. In a very short time, the Zhao's force was in high morale and ready to attack, which indicated that Zhaokuo was truly a man of military gift to some extent. What he lacked of was the military experience on the battlefield and mental maturity. Meanwhile, troopers of both sides had maximized with the Qin more than 500,000, and Zhao almost 450,000 separately. The last thing Zhaokuo would do was to cross the Danshui River and launch attack. As the state of Zhao needed to defend the nomads on the north of its border, the majority of force dispatched to Changping were infantries. In order to maximize the numerical superiority, Zhaokuo only left no more than 50,000 soldiers behind for garrison and baggage. Whatever did they plan for, the Qing's force chose to confront Zhaokuo's huge army. Though we do not know the exact number they sent to engage Zhaokuo, it is certain the number was far less than their counterpart. Why did Baiqi make such deployment? The answer is obvious. This army must have played the role as decoy. When the two armies clashed with each other, the Qing's force demonstrated tough fighting strength. Though they were outnumbered by the Zhao's main force, they had held the line for several hours until the withdrawal. They constantly withdrew along the valley of Danshui River with the pursuit of force of Zhao until they fell back to the Qing's defense line based on Guanglangcheng fortress. The Bade had finished its mission. Zhao's force was held by the defense line of Qing, and the victory had further enhanced Zhaokuo's confidence. He would have become more aggressive and yearned for more victory. That's exactly something Baiqi would take advantage of. However, the Qing's force also suffered heavy casualty. It was estimated that almost 30,000 soldiers were killed. Perhaps it's the cost had to pay it. As Wang He once stated, Zhaokuo did not come up with a better idea to penetrate Qing's defense line, which was heavily fortified. Will it become another standoff under the circumstances? Before the sunset, Zhaokuo was lost in thought. Several days ago, he ordered the execution of 8 men who warned him of Qing's retreat as a trap. Neither did he believe it, nor did he prefer to believe so. The young general's heart was burning with ambition and glory. Yet, the last chance for the survival of Zhaokuo and his huge army may have been lost. The second part of the campaign of Changping is finished here. We shall proceed to the third part very soon. Thanks for watching. Please enjoy the rest part of the music if you will. Have a great day.